Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're embarking on a super fascinating journey into both the physical and digital layers of the Internet of Things, or IoT. If you've ever wondered how a physical measurement in the real world, like, say, the moisture of the soil on a smart farm or the intense vibration of an industrial engine, somehow miraculously becomes a digital action in the cloud, well, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to decode this entire data journey from the ground up so we can understand exactly how our hyperconnected world actually operates.
Okay, let's dive right into this. 20 billion. That is a staggering number, right? But that's the number of connected physical objects we expect to see operating in the very near future. And we're not just talking about laptops and smartphones anymore. No way. We're talking about over 20 billion embedded sensors, actuators, and monitors scattered across our homes, our hospitals, factories, and fields. The sheer scale of this interconnected web is literally transforming how humanity operates. But it begs the question, how does it all actually work together?
Well, here's our roadmap for today to figure that out. We'll start by welcoming you to the IoT age. Then we'll break down the architecture of things, compare industrial versus consumer IoT, look at real-world healthcare and smart farming, see how 5G powers all of this, and finally wrap up with securing the connected future.
Let's kick things off with our first section. Welcome to the IoT age. So, what exactly is the Internet of Things? Basically, it's the networking of physical objects that contain embedded electronics, allowing them to communicate and sense interactions amongst each other or their external environment. Think of it like this. For decades, the Internet was kind of blind and numb. It lacked physical senses. It only knew what we humans manually typed into it. But IoT, it gives senses to the Internet. By deploying these physical objects, the things, we're allowing the digital world to independently capture raw, real-time data. We're talking temperature, moisture, geographic location, even human heart rates.
Moving right along to Section 2, the architecture of things. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how structured it all is.
The complex journey of just a single data point actually follows a really logical four-step architecture. It kicks off at the perception layer with sensors. Those are the physical front lines collecting the raw environmental data. Next, that data moves to the processing layer, where processors act as a sort of local brain, converting analog signals into digital formats and filtering out all the useless noise. Then, the data hits the network layer, where gateways take that newly processed info and route it securely to the internet. And finally, the whole shebang arrives at the application layer, where software translates the data into actual actionable insights for you and me. You can really visualize this as a vertical journey. Look at the bottom there. The sensors are out in the real world, maybe buried deep in the soil of a smart farm, taking a moisture reading. But, raw data just isn't enough on its own. It needs intelligence. So it moves up to the processors, which evaluate if that specific reading is actually significant. And if it is, the processor pushes it up to the gateway. That gateway bridges the gap between the local dirt and the massive wider internet, finally delivering it to the applications at the very top. It's this beautiful, continuous, dynamic loop of information. But how do we manage all this without totally draining those tiny little batteries? Well, devices often use a standard communication protocol called MQTT. Instead of a sensor constantly keeping a power-hungry connection open all the time, MQTT uses what's called a publisher-subscriber model. These lightweight sensors act as publishers. They just quickly wake up, shoot off their tiny packet of data to a central queue called a broker, and then immediately go back to sleep to save power. The applications at the other end act as subscribers, and they just pull that data from the broker whenever they need it. It's honestly an incredibly efficient way to manage millions of devices at once.
All right, let's shift gears to Section 3, Industrial versus Consumer IoT.
Now, the underlying technology might be pretty similar, but the business priorities are completely different depending on the setting. Consumer IoT? That's built for convenience. If your smart speaker loses its Wi-Fi connection, it's the minor annoyance, right? You might have to manually flip a light switch. But industrial IoT, or IIoT, connects heavy-duty operational assets like robotic arms, power transformers, and massive machinery. These devices operate in brutal environments with extreme dust, moisture, and vibration. If a vibration sensor on an offshore oil rig fails, it doesn't just cause a minor annoyance. It could literally halt production, cost millions of dollars, or worse, compromise worker safety. So IIoT requires absolute, uncompromising 24/7 reliability.
And this brilliantly illustrates why industries are so eager to adopt this tech. By continuously monitoring their assets, companies can predict exactly when a machine is going to fail long before it actually breaks down. This quote from McKinsey & Company really hits the nail on the head. Predictive maintenance enabled by connected sensors can reduce maintenance costs by up to 40%. I mean, that is a massive financial impact, completely turning reactive, costly repairs into proactive, smooth optimization. Which brings us to Section 4, Healthcare and Smart Farming.
The real-world applications here are truly life-changing. Let's look at healthcare. Wearable ECGs and blood oxygen monitors aren't just logging numbers anymore. They're transmitting real-time patient metrics directly to doctors. This allows for rapid, life-saving intervention if a patient's heart rate suddenly spikes out of nowhere. And out in the fields, smart agriculture relies heavily on low-power wide-area networks, or LPWAN. These let battery-powered sensors buried in the dirt monitor soil moisture and temperature over vast, sprawling distances. So a dry soil reading travels up our architecture to the application layer, which then automatically triggers a targeted irrigation system, saving huge amounts of water. And when you add artificial intelligence to the mix, which we call IOT, these systems can actually learn from the data in real time. For example, IoT sensor networks in manufacturing have been shown to slash industrial reject rates by up to 20% just by optimizing production on the fly. It's like having a genius supervisor monitoring everything at once.
Next up, Section 5, How 5G Powers IoT. Because billions of data points need a serious network to travel on, this is exactly where 5G comes in. Legacy 4G networks simply were not built for a world crowded with 20 billion connected devices. 5G fundamentally changes the game in three major ways. First up, latency. 5G reduces the delay from a noticeable, annoying lag down to just a few milliseconds. That's absolutely crucial if an industrial robotic arm needs to stop instantly to prevent an accident. Second is device capacity. 5G can juggle a massive number of simultaneous device connections in a very small area without dropping the signal. And third, energy efficiency. Because 5G transmits those tiny data packets so insanely fast, remote agricultural sensors spend way less time awake and transmitting, which drastically prolongs their battery life out in the field.
Let's head into our final section, securing the connected future.
Okay, so we've talked about all the amazing benefits, but the crucial point we absolutely cannot ignore is security. When you deploy billions of interconnected devices, you are essentially creating a massive global attack surface. Think about it. Every single cheap temperature sensor or smart light bulb is a potential backdoor for hackers to infiltrate a network. The risks are huge, ranging from personal privacy violations in healthcare to catastrophic operational disruptions in a smart city's power grid. To fight this, the industry is frantically moving towards robust solutions like PKI-based trusted identities. This ensures every single device cryptographically proves exactly who it is before it's allowed to share data. We're also seeing end-to-end encryption become the standard, and even emerging technologies like blockchain are being utilized to create decentralized, tamper-proof ledgers of trust between all these connected devices.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. As we approach a future absolutely bursting with over 20 billion connected devices, how do we successfully balance the incredible benefits of this ultimate connectivity with the absolute uncompromising necessity of robust data privacy and security? We've decoded the data journey today, starting from a physical sensor in the dirt, up through the processor and gateway, all the way into the cloud. We've seen how it can save precious water on farms, monitor fragile hearts in hospitals, and completely optimize factory floors. But securing that massive architecture, that is the challenge of our generation. I really encourage you to keep exploring how this invisible infrastructure is being built all around you. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, stay curious.